Welcome to another movie night with me, Kirk, from Troubadour and Troubadour Reacts. Today we are going to be seeing and watching, and you'll see me make a few comments along the way, a movie that I think is of importance for anyone interested in cinema in America and understanding the mythic framework of America and how we view ourselves, how the world began to view us. And the movie is Hell's Hinges with William S. Hart. This was released in 1916 during the early years of feature-length filmmaking. The Western genre existed already. In fact, the Western genre was essentially the first stories that were told on film in America. But it had not, as a genre, it hadn't developed into the deep mythic themes that it would eventually become developed into, and which I think still resonate throughout all of our action adventure Marvel stories to this day. The Marvel hero is essentially a byproduct of the American Western hero. From basically, this movie is a big pivotal moment in that. The movie we're going to watch today is a silent film. William S. Hart. He was the first major Western star in Hollywood, or one of the first. Now, unlike a lot of the actors of the time, Hart had actual experience with the real American frontier. And if you take the course that I'm starting to give pretty soon, as of this recording, and I'll also have recordings up if you see this later. But one of the things that is really unique about these early years, and especially with William S. Hart, is that some of these guys were actual cowboys. They had real experiences on horses. There's a scene in Stagecoach, which is one of the early films we will watch and discuss in my film course. You'll see some shooting sequences on horseback with reloading that we think of today, may not be that astonishing to some degree, but when you see how fast it is, how devastating it is, that's because there was an actual cavalry still in the United States military at that time, 1939. The guys that did that on camera were real cowboys who had been part of a real cavalry. So they knew how to shoot a gun on a horseback going full speed and reloading, which is astonishing. And William S. Hart has that kind of background. He had grown up around cowboys and frontier culture. That's a big part of the narrative mythology of America. And he wanted Western films to portray the West more realistically in his mind. Because of that, William S. Hart rejected all the exaggerated theatrical style that was common in early films. And films, started in the late 1800s. So we're talking, 5-10 years before this type thing. He pushed, though, for moral seriousness, some realism, and psychological conflict, which you don't see in Westerns all the time, and especially not before this. This really helped to elevate the Western from simple action stories to something closer to a moral drama. Now, he got a lot of his information or his insights and views, I think, from Jackson Turner and the Frontier Thesis, which we'll talk a little bit about in my course, and of course, the Owen Wister novel that we'll be talking about in that course as well, called The Virginian. And I also did a commentary on The Virginian. You could watch that movie on my channel. So the film, Hell's Hinges, takes place in a frontier town called Hell's Hinges. It's a lawless settlement full of gamblers, prostitutes, and criminals. A young minister and his sister arrive hoping to bring morality and Christianity, which is what I think they think of as morality, to the town. The locals mock them, of course, and the town's corrupt leaders try to manipulate the situation for their own benefit. The central character is Blaze Tracy, a feared outlaw played by William S. Hart. At first, he is part of the lawless culture of the town. Take note of that. At first, he is part of the lawless culture of the town. But when he encounters the sincerity and innocence of the minister's sister, something begins to change in him. The film becomes a story of moral awakening and redemption. Now, there's a lot of things that are unique about this film. Given that it's 1916, none of it's going to seem at all unique to you, other than the fact that it's silent, and you may not be used to a silent. I'll read the title card, so there will be title cards that come up that's what they used to use instead of dialogue because they didn't have sound. So they would just put the text up, and that you would just kind of read that and move on. Westerns around this time were just spectacles and simple cowboy adventures. It was essentially an extended chase scene with very little purpose behind it, other than get the girl, she's tied to a train tracks kind of thing, and get her out of there. That's basically it. Hinges is different because it treats the frontier as a moral battleground. The story explores themes like civilization versus lawlessness, redemption and moral transformation, religion on the frontier, and the role of violence in restoring order. Again, all key mythic themes to understanding the American myth, which is the basis of our ideology. It's how we understand ourselves and how the world understands America. These themes would later become central to the Western genre and much, much more. If you watch the Virginian, or if you go watch that movie with me, that's 1929. So that's after this, you'll see a main character played by Gary Cooper who is morally conflicted, quiet and stoic, shaped by hardship and violence, capable of redemption. That all comes from the dime novel and novels, but in cinema, it comes from William S. Hart's Hell's Hinges. This is a critical moment. Silk Miller. Oh, and I'm drinking an old fashioned. Old fashioned. Gotta have some whiskey. The Reverend Robert Henley, recently ordained and as yet unassigned to a parish, delivers a sermon at the Slums Mission of St. John's. Reverend Robert Henley. So the preacher coming to town. Recently ordained. What does that say? The victim of a great mistake, a weak and selfish youth, utterly unfit for the calling that a devout and love-blinded mother has persuaded him to follow. The victim of a great mistake. So he's not supposed to be the parish priest? Gotta love silent acting. Okay. Well, someone's paying close attention. His mother, radiantly happy in the realization of her life's dream and blissfully unconscious of the injustice she has done her son and the church. Well, it reminds me of a moment in Middlemarch when one of the characters is like, you would be a disservice to the church when someone is going to join the church. His sister, Faith, combining with a grave sweetness the strength of character her brother so woefully lacks, and forcing herself to believe he will prove a faithful servant of God. So really interesting how the storytelling techniques work now. So this is the sister, so, okay. This is not a good guy, is what I'm getting. Untouched by the holy word, he is conveying but taking an actor's delight in swaying his audience. Oh, okay. So this is important. So he's really just about manipulation, not about actual salvation. So he looks a little slimy, right? God is love. He's using the word of God to manipulate his audience. That never happened after the service. That never happened. Passing something out. So you'll often see like this idea of the corrupt institutions. I am beginning to fear that Robert is not made of stern enough material to be equal to the trials and temptations of city work. Yeah, that's important. So you got a kind of Sodom and Gomorrah type element to these stories. Then why not get him a parish in the country? Okay, that makes sense. So they're debating where they should put him. The city, he would be, yeah, this is clear. So he would be prone to corrupting the young ladies, maybe going into prostitution. Like his character is not a real priest, but somehow because of the push of that's his sister on the right, I believe. Look at his sister. She's like, what is he doing? He's like flirting with all these women. So he set up that way. A few days later, the seeming answer to the problem, an opportunity to take charge of the establishment of a church in the West. Good. Get him out of the city. Let the country people deal with him. Okay. So if you've ever read The Fountainhead, Peter Keating gets pushed into architecture by his mother. Wonder if Ayn Rand watched this movie, Hell's Hinges. But I think it's a popular and common idea. Yes, I am sure that is the place for your son. Out on the prairies where the people live simply and close to God. Isn't that what you want? For your son to be close to God? Right? He's convincing her to convince, to accept this for her son. It is the highest privilege that can come to a servant of God, the opportunity to carry his word into the far places. Beautiful. All right. So there's not a lot of movement, you'll notice. There is movement, and you'll see movement, and they've kind of done that in filmmaking at this point, done a lot of movement, but they're still, dealing with this straight shot, single shot, his imagination, a mission appealing to his sense of romance. I assume that means oh, there we go. He could see the opportunities. He's going to live up to it and go to the country. Is he dreaming of... Oh, no, there he is, actually. Is this his imagination? I think this is his imagination, like a bunch of country girls or something? Or what is this? Sense of romance. Yeah, that's his... There's an early dream sequence. Look at the look on his face. I'm gonna get so many ladies. We'll keep it silent film era. You are right. I will go. You know what? If he wasn't a priest, I wouldn't blame him. Like, if you think you're going to get some lovely ladies, why not? But a little weird if he's a priest, a parish priest, and that's what's on his mind. Not helping people. Now, his sister knows. Look at that. She's a great actress. Look at that. She's like, this dude's... I don't know what's up with this guy. And I will go with you to help you get comfortably settled. Good girl. She's going to help him out. He's like, no, I want to get these ladies. What you talking about? This film was chosen by the National Archives to be, one of the more influential films of the time. 3 weeks later, on the trail, a half-hour's ride from their future home. And now they're on their way. So you see the different title cards. So here's a simple tracking shot. The open landscape. This is one reason why Westerns, I think, are popular in the early era, is simple sets, out in the landscape, just move that camera, boom, you have a transition shot, right? More people should make Westerns today because they're more affordable. Look at this. I guess it's more difficult today because you have to get Western costume, but the reality, the town known on the government surveyor's maps as Placer Center, but throughout the length and breadth of the sun-baked territory, just plain Hell's Hinges and a good place to ride wide of. So this is like a Dodge City type place, which is what one of the movies we'll talk about. Dodge City has a reputation of being, oh, dang, first shot of Hell's Hinges. This dude just gets shot in the streets. A gunfighting, man-killing devil's den of iniquity that scorched even the sun-parched soil on which it stood. Gunfighting, man-killing. They got a... Ooh. Oh! Look at all those extras. They're just shooting right at each other. He's hiding himself by putting his leg up like Silk Miller, mingling the oily craftiness of a Mexican with the deadly treachery of a rattler. No man's open enemy and no man's friend. Silk Miller. It's great how they have gambling on the left, dancing on the right. So it's like, I think it's supposed to be debauchery on all around him. Hell's Hinges is Sodom and Gomorrah. The gospel shooter that the Petticoat Brigade sent for ought to be here most any minute now. Remember that word, Petticoat Brigade. Remember that. We're going to talk a lot about that if you take my course. What is the Petticoat Brigade? It's an important concept. Hell's Hinges prepares to do itself proud. You know, they're talking about this parish priest and his sister. They have their petticoats. By the way, the music, hold on. The Petticoat Brigade, the scant handful of respectable people in the sin-ridden town, a drop of water in a barrel of rum or whiskey. But yeah, so that's what the Petticoat Brigade is. I love how they define it. Gotta love that about this early movie. They're like, we want to be clear about what we're talking about here. Today, you're like, I don't know what the filmmaker's talking about. Sad priest. So the preacher is supposed to represent civilization and moral law. Blaze Tracy, the embodiment of the best and worst of the early West, a man killer whose philosophy of life is summed up in the creed, shoot first and do your disputing afterward. Shoot first and do your disputing afterward. Yes, that's Blaze Tracy. That's William S. Hart. It's your main character. So this is the dude that's the good guy, or supposed to be, right? But he's just like a man killer. He's out there, just like everybody else, just murdering who he needs to murder. Because there ain't no courts. There ain't no law out here. It's just man killing man. Ooh, look how good with the gun he is. Keeping it going. You'll hear that a lot. A lot of the man who's good with a gun. That's important. Look at that. Oh, is he shooting the preacher? That's civilization. That's law. That's order. Right? That's what's coming into town. Gotta tie that horse up. Let's get some whiskey. There's the man. William S. Hart. The two most dangerous men in the territory, widely different in every characteristic, but agreed on one point, that neither law nor religion shall ever come to Hell's Hinges. Because they have freedom, right? They want to be out there in the West with nothing. It's the frontier. This is barely a territory, which means it's not an American city. It's not an American town. It doesn't have the law and order that's come into it yet. That's the perk of it. When you go out into a territory, like if you go somewhere like this, you can do whatever you want. Blaze, I reckon you must be getting nervous with the parson most here. So that's Silk Miller, right? All right, here we go, Blaze. Yes, my hand's trembling, so I'm scared I'll shake him out of his boots. My hand's trembling. Nice. What a joke. This wimpy little parish. So notice how the character's being set up. He's not a good person. He's not about this. Remember, Blaze, we're trusting you to handle this thing short and successful-ish. Already got some of that hard-boiled detective type type talk, but in the Western. Successful-ish. You can almost hear. Probably because I said it. There's that stagecoach. Oh, look at her. Sister. We have to bring order and law to these savage people out on the frontier. Look at all these rowdy men. I reckon it's a sin to shoot a parson. I'll just naturally scare him to death. You see that in The Virginian? The movie is, or the book. That's a big part of the original book from 1902, 03? I always forget the date of that one. sees his victim. This is our hero. Remember that. Our good guy. Ooh. Gotta make some faces when you're in a silent film. Gotta be good at faces. I'm not good at faces. A different kind of a smile, sweet, honest, and trustful. And seeming to say, how do you do, friend? Okay, okay. Different kind of smile. Look at this. Oh, sweet. She's breaking his heart. She's softening it. One who is evil, looking for the first time upon that which is good. Ooh, so Blaze Tracy is evil, but he's being softened by the beautiful young sister who looks at him unflinchingly, as if to say, you are good too, my son. I believe in you. Whoa, is he gonna pull his gun out? What was that about? It's like a moral awakening that's happening. Ooh, she's talking to him. Look at his face. Good acting. He's awakening to her goodness, not just her beauty. I don't think she's supposed to be the most beautiful woman, but she's clearly caring and kind. Christian. Look at that guy's face. I laugh. What's he doing? Is he gonna... I love that. Oh, he's gonna freak out. That guy's eyes about to pop out of his head. How kindly he is all of a sudden. Whether the music in the background would have been played live. Would have been a piano player in the little Nickelodeon or the shop where they were watching this reeler. Would have been a couple reels of film. I think it's a total of 60 minutes. He's been defeated. He's frustrated. He can't do it. Look at it. I love that this dude. Who is this dude? He's been beaten by Jesus. Jesus has reached into his heart and caressed it. Gave it a little fill in his heart. You're going to be a better man now. Blaze. Sunday, the first service in the barn which does duty as a church. All right, so we have the arrival of moral order. Oh, is there already a fight? They're fighting already. Dolly! Guess that's one of the characters. Oh, this is a character you're going to see a lot of. This kind of gypsy-like foreign woman. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how she's going to be portrayed here, but you'll see a lot more. It's been many years since I've seen this movie, but it's been a lot. You'll see a lot of that character in the Westerns that we watch and other Westerns. Often she's kind of open to the other side of the femininity, which is one side is the kindness and gentleness, and you give her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. The other side is do whatever you want with her, essentially. Have your fun. She's up for that. Ooh. She's not... I take this to be the Petticoat Brigade. They're trying to go to church, and then they're being overtaken. Yeah, so now there is a religious uproar going on in Taylor's barn, and the boys has gone up to help celebrate. You're seeing now the conflict. They're trying to have a church, a Sunday service, and they're being overtaken by all these people. Will anybody do anything? Will anybody protect them? Will anybody fight for them? They're dancing in a church, scaring off all the good people. It's not safe for the Petticoat Brigade. Remember that. Get off of me, sir. I don't know you. Ooh. Parish has given up. Uh-oh. Is she praying? Does he hear her somehow? The eternal, unconquerable white flame that shone over the blood-drenched Roman arena and above the racks of the Inquisition. Okay. Going back to the early days of Christianity. Cross, what? Is that Jesus hanging on the cross or something? But her goodness will strike through his chest. You have to. Come on. Come on, blaze that heart. Will you do something? Will you bring moral order? Will you make it safe for the Petticoat Brigade? She's praying for someone to come, a savior, a man who knows how to use violence to protect the innocent, to make it safe for women and children. Yeah. You come over and do bad stuff with us. William S. Hart's not gonna, or Blaze Tracy's not gonna have it. Reaching them. She's singing? She's singing it. Making them feel guilty. I love the faces. Come on, boys. Who will be the first to dance with her? Uh-oh. That sounds almost like a threatening kind of dance. But she's singing, right? They're gonna attack her. Ooh, there he is. Oh. There'll be no more dancing in here today. Blaze said so. I'm announcing here and now that there ain't going to be no more picking on the parson's herd so long as they mind their own business. They have a protector, a knight, Dark Knight, because he's a bad man, but he knows how to use guns. He can scare off a whole crowd of men and get him to back away. Bringing righteousness, the sword, or a 6-shooter. Oh, his buddy's like, what are you doing? We had a deal. We had a plan. Him? Change in tone. It's now safe for the good church people. Put on their little boxes and hear the hymn. Jesus, his disciples. Blaze is like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'll sit here. At the close of the sermon, unmoved. Fancy cinematography right here. Get a little focal point on our hero. The matter? I'm not making fun of it, to be clear. Just enjoying the moments. I just wish to remind you all of God's great love for us and how he wishes us to come to him. Is there no one here today who wishes to heed his call? who wants to come to Jesus. Come to Jesus. You gonna do it? Boy. Reckon God ain't wanting me much, ma'am. But when I look at you, I feel I've been riding the wrong trail. Speaking like a cowboy. God ain't wanting me much. He's been a bad man. Sometimes you need a bad man to do good things. On this movie, it's essentially Christianity that brings him over. In later movies, it's not explicitly that off always. Building the church. Gotta have a church. Don't build a school or anything, but build a church. They might have a school. I don't think so. Build the church first. It's always the church. Uh-oh, now he's gonna get to the preacher. Why don't you come down someday and hold a service for the dance hall girls? They'd sure appreciate it. So now we're hearkening back to this kind of, the preacher was compromised, if we remember correctly. So now he's the boss, the town boss, cannot rely. Oh, he's like, the girls. Give me them girls. And he was relying on Blaze to chase him out of town, but Blaze was taken in by the sister. Now, I'd admire to walk home with you, ma'am. I'd admire to walk home with you, ma'am. I'm gonna try that line on a girl one day. I'd admire to walk home with you. She's like, I live 10 miles away. What are you talking about? They've come to an arrangement of sorts. Ooh. She's good. Oh, howdy, man. You're a mighty good woman. Blaze. Gotcha now. Surefire sign of love. Patting the same animal. That night, the mission he forgot to mention to his sister. Okay. Forgot to the mission. Oh, to go to the dance hall girls. They deserve some good old Christianity, don't they? Oh, girls making eyes at him. Reading the Gospels. She's got something else on her mind. As does he. You reading the Bible? smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. Is our hero going to pray something? Is he going to believe he could be better? One pan, one roller, another pan. God, if you mean what you say here, I'm asking for her. Now, what if somebody else asks for her? Like 20 other guys there. Sir, God above, I believe. I want her. I'll leave that aside. Can't I see you alone sometime so I can learn more about your work? Now, you church-going folk, be careful of the ladies that say this. Can't we just read the catechisms ourselves together? Alone? Just over there, just talking. Those women, they're going to corrupt you. They're going to take you aside and do things to you. It's a big worry for you dudes. Just kidding. I think he said yes. After several meetings. The weekly. Several meetings. What was he doing in those meetings? Remember, it's up to you. If you do this thing right, there ain't nothing you can't have. In this town of 55 people, you can have whatever you want. You could sleep on this bed made for dogs. This is night, remember. Why it's bluish color. Day is a kind of goldish tint. There's probably a light in there. Oh. Take a seat. This is my birthday, and I want you to help me celebrate it. Ooh. I shouldn't. Should. You should. Can't. I can't. No. Yes. Of course I'll help you celebrate your birthday. It's your birthday, right? Look how much skin she's showing. The whole arm. 2 arms. A shoulder. He's gonna drink? Sir, don't do— Ooh. He likes it. Ugh. Gotta get you good and drunk, sir. Have a whomping good time. My birthday. Come on. The face I— Oh. Sure. He's never had a drink before. Come on. Come on, who are you fooling, parish priest? Bunny rabbit? I wonder if that's a metaphor. Why did they show that bunny rabbit? You gonna shoot it? Oh, another shot. Another rum. She already had hers. Oh, God, I'm trying to get out of here. Oh. Oh, he's happy now. Ooh. Whoa. Pretty cool, though. With that match with the chair. I could barely light a match with the matchbox. Uh-oh. Ooh. Things are getting serious. Oh, man. The following morning. Service time. Ruh-roh. We was waiting for the parson to sort of lead us in. Did he do anything or just drink? I think we're supposed to take that as just a night of debauchery. We got him, boys! Ha ha ha! Even the parson is just a low-down, dirty scumbag like us. Let me bowleg walk over here. I've been riding my horse all the time. They probably were riding horses a lot. I had a little bowleg in them. If you're looking for the parson, you'll find him down in Silk Saloon. Silk Saloon. Just rolls off the tongue. Don't you say that about my person. I will knock you on your fat bum. My brother would, maybe he would. The parson sure come wildcat. Sure some wildcat when it comes to getting drunk. He's a wildcat. Purr. I'll protect you. I'm sure it's not true. No way it's true. Let's go find out the truth. Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea, but okay. I'm sure it might be true. Ma'am, sirs, oh, yes. Here comes civilized order and law and moral order and the goodness. Look at the good people going to see the parson drunk. The parson here? That guy, that cool beard in the background. Uh-oh, I'm drunk. I had 3 shots of whiskey. And I slept on a chair. All the ladies in the background. That is the most uncomfortable position to fall asleep in, even if you're drunk. We're gonna find out the truth. What are you doing with that girl? I'm gonna throw her. Oh, Jesus. Get off of here. I'm gonna punch you in the face and give you a good walloping, woman. Jeez. Corrupt town. Gotcha. See, parson, nothing but a drunk. Sex fiend. He's like all the rest of them, Blaze. A low-down hypocrite and liar. There ain't no such thing as real religion. So we should all just act however we want without Christianity. There ain't no way we could act righteous and good and not murder each other. Only Christianity. When women like her say there is a God, there is one. And he sure must be worth trailing with. He sure must be worth trailing with. I'm gonna trail with the God because she's the vicar of Christ. Listen to me, people. Listen, I have something to say. Boys, you'll remember Arizona Frank, the best roper in the territory, don't you? Don't you? Boys, remember? Boy, good man. Once I seen Arizona rope a steer with as pretty a throw as was ever made, but the rope broke and the steer got away. Probably not how he talked. Why not? Once I seen Arizona's rope. Parson dead? That guy still hasn't gone? That wasn't Arizona's fault. It was the thing he was dependent on that was no good. That's us. That's the mortal coil. The body is the rope. And that's what broke here tonight. The parson's goodness and religiosity, that's pure. But the body, the desires, the loins, that's the evil. As the hero shot, good time, good man, good woman. The rope. I'm handling him my own way. You take care of her. Get her out of here. Get up, boy. Wanna shake out this liquor out your system? Throw you in a river. Cleanse you for God. Oh! Is he gonna really dunk him in the water? Gonna cleanse his body and his soul at the same time. And again came the morning. Okay, so he didn't throw him in. Thought he was gonna baptize him, cowboy style. The doctor is at Prairie Crossing. How drunk did that dude get? He's got a doctor? How many shots did he have? But it's not his body that's sick. It's his soul that's been corrupted. Gotta fix his soul. Oh. How could you? Yeah, well, that's him going crazy. I'm practicing for my silent film debut. What you looking at? I'm still drunk 3 days later from 2 shots. Have another one, Parson. Yeah. Give me some more. I ain't ever gonna be sober again. That's a boy. It's the evil laugh. We got him, boys. We got him. Someone's coming down fast. Doesn't look that fast, but that was probably pretty fast that he came down there. Then fell the purple shadows of the western night, with the peace of the silver stars above, and the fires of hated evil flaring redly below. There's some beauty in that. Then fell the purple shadows of the western, like the wine-dark sea from Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Chaos within, past the point of sane thought, struggling weakly through a delirium of strangely distorted faces and sound, past the point of sane thought. Remember that. He's past that point. Look at me. I had another shot. Shoot them guns off. By the way, they really did shoot guns off in those places sometimes. The abandoned flock. Gonna go in there. To hell with the church. Let's burn her down. Oh my gosh. The church they just built? Yeah. Let's burn it so we can live our voluptuous frivolity. I don't know. Vivacious. I'm ready to go. I had my first shot in a year. The person helped build the church. We'll let him touch her off. The person helped build the church. We'll let him. I can read. I promise. I can read. Boys, the Lord's dependent on us to stand by him. Before they burn down that church, they've got to fight. Before they burn down that church, they've got to fight. Gotta fight. Okay. Who's fight? Who's gonna be the champion of God? Fight. Who's gotta fight? Oh, the church people versus the corrupt town people. They gotta fight? Shoot it out. Got an angry mob coming at you. We're not moving. We don't want no bloodshed, but we don't aim to stand by and watch you burn our church. Damn you, God. Damn you. He wouldn't say that because that's using the name's Lord in vain. Blasphemy. Boys, the whole sniveling litter is here. Let's clean them out for good and all. They're gonna kill them all? Oh, jeez. Forgot about that. That's wild. Parson was extremely weak. He's gonna torch him? Look where he's got his hand. Where's the intimacy coordinator? Sir, lower your hand a couple inches. It's a little bit high for holding back a woman. Even if there is a mob coming, we should think about these things. Intimacy coordinator. Bob! God, is that his name? For God's sake, listen to me! To me, your sister! Help me! Help me! His name's Bob. Did I know that? Bob! Should have called him Robert. Almost. He looks like the guy who plays Longbottom in Harry Potter as an adult. Oh, dang, shooting. Rifles, shotguns, 6-shooter. Oh! Parson got shot. Oh, you've killed him. You've killed him. Man. Things got serious. What are those gunshots? I mean, they were firing for real. I mean, it's not live ammunition, I'm sure, but they're firing. That's gunshots. Gun smoke. Something. Now, this type of thing at this time was a big deal. The pitifully uneven struggle when the face of God seemed turned away. Gotta martyr some Christians if you want a good moral story these days. But burning things like that on a set, it's not something you saw in films up until 1960. It's a big deal. People are like, whoa, at the time. Standing like a martyr of old with the symbol of its faith proudly lifted to the crimsoning sky. The crimsoning, it's in the process of crimsoning because of the flames. Yeah, this scene, this is famous. Because, again, they did this. And that means they built a whole church just to burn it. They did this. And that wasn't commonly done. That's a real fire. To us today, it's not a big deal. We blow stuff up all the time in movies. But big deal back then. The broken flight into the desert, while evil and madness joins hand into the triumph of Eve, a victor. Broken flight into the desert. Will anybody protect them? Will anybody help them? So civilization in Westerns often is portrayed as very fragile. Like, look how easily it was overtaken. It's weak in the frontier. I don't care about these dead people. This here hell's hinges. Don't you forget it. Wish I could tickle the ivories. This piano player would have been playing nonstop, often looking at the film and just kind of improvising. I've seen this done in real life to a 19th century film called, I think a 1906 version of Cyrano de Bergerac, colorized by hand. And a pianist came touring around with it. He played piano, and whenever something new would happen, he would change the tone of the music based on what was going on in the film. Now we have someone telling the Israelites about Sodom and Gomorrah burning. Huh. And the person's sister, where is she? Is she okay? I want to go take care of her, protect her. We gotta go! Woo! Race. Oh, shoot. Forgot about that. Isn't such a... Oh, did he really do that? He must have done that stunt. The horse is probably pissed at him. He's like, what the hell were you thinking? Could have broke my leg, and then you'd have to put me down. Look at that, yeah. If you look at like documentaries about the history of film, you'll see that shot sometimes. It's a famous shot. This film does a lot with like set design and using atmosphere that other films hadn't done as much. They've killed him. Don't leave her. Come back. Take care of business. Look at the chaos. What did you do with this? Don't get excited. She'll be with her brother. She ain't the kind that leaves. Jeez, she's gonna murder him? He's gonna murder her? That's the man walk. Now there's a hero shot, slowly walking away from the flames. Bad guy. Look out! Blaze is coming! Killing mad and with a gun in each hand. Yeah, get him, Blaze. Blaze. Coming out of hell. Hell's angel. Let's come out. This is my affair, boys, and I ain't taking no chances. When the doors open, I shoot. Yeehaw! One man against the town. Blaze don't miss. Telltale silence. Notice the music went out. Pianist in the live theater would have done the same thing. Ooh, for effect. I'm just a girl. Leave me be. The whole town is held up against it. Hell's Hinge has done itself proud tonight, and it's going to be rewarded. Hell needs this town, and it's going back and going damn quick. Jeez. This is another famous part of it. It's just all the burning represents purification of the town, the corrupt town. I'm shooting straight tonight. I'm plumb willing to kill. It's pretty clear, buddy. It's what you gotta do. The burning of Atlanta. It's what you gotta do to win the war against evil. You boys oughtn't to mind a little heat like this. It's nothing to what you all get coming later. You ought to keep the old town company, but I ain't aiming to have you do that. Yeah, I think if you were watching this in 1916, you'd be like, is he gonna burn all of them? Must have been really tense. I mean, I think what makes the film so striking for its time, and even, post-Hays Code 1934, where there was a kind of moral certainty that had to be put into the movies, is he doesn't save the town. He burns it. And we're going to see this in our films. If you take the course with me, or if you watch the recordings later, you'll see this in High Plains Drifter and the same kind of iconography and burning. And again, this whole thing, like they burning the whole town, is a very famous aspect of just like, yeah, he's coming through hell, coming out of the doorway of hell, looking on his work. He's rejecting the town. That's where he came from. Remember the beginning when we first saw him? He was like, this is my town. This is who I am. And he's rejected it. Sparks that fall like missiles of hail. So this idea of the gunslinger, the outsider, even the immoral man who becomes moral, all of this is now beginning with this movie in cinema. You see that a little bit in Virginia, or in the Virginian, in dime novels and things like that, where there's some of this. But this movie really brings the imagery of it and brings it to a mass audience. On the frontier, again, there is some reality to this of just like when you go out on the frontier, who's going to uphold law and order? Who's going to take care of things? Who's going to protect people? There are no cops, right? There are no people to enforce laws. There are no laws yet, really. So this is setting up a lot of the core themes we're going to be exploring. We'll be going now. If you go to troubadour.studio/Western Cinema course, or just go to Troubadour Studio to explore some of the courses, and you'll see the films I chose. This is not in the film course, by the way. We start with the Virginian. Mostly our films are in 1939 to 1950 or 1973. Hell's Crown, that's it. But yeah, there's so many of these core themes, and this is really how America starts to see itself. It already saw itself like this in a lot of ways with dime novels, the Buffalo Bill's Adventures, which was a traveling troupe where they would go around and they would do wild stories of Jesse James and Buffalo Wild, Buffalo Bill, which was a, kind of character. And they would tell these stories and bring up the imagery of the Western. And then from the mothering sky came the baby dawn, singing as it wreathed the gray horns of the mountains with ribbons of rose and gold. From the mothering sky. Music changes. Beautiful shot of the sky. What has not been established, this happens in 1939, is the specific type of iconography of the Western landscape. Although you see it a little bit here, what is there is the untamed nature. In an untamed nature, there ain't nobody there to protect you. There ain't nobody there to help you. You break a leg out on the frontier, you gotta drag yourself to town or just die. That's the way of it. It is. The hero rejects the town. Patient with a poor, emotional Christian. Under music. An avenging angel, murderous, violent, brutal, destructive. Regain the reins, flames, hell. God, I ain't knowing you very well, but I'm asking you a favor. Let her be happy. Being selfless. Not thinking about himself, he's helping other people. But it's somebody he loves. It's about somebody else, not about him. Because what he wanted, the selfish way, was debauchery, whoring, gambling, murdering. That's the selfish way. Over yonder hills is the future both yours and mine. It's a calling, and I reckon we'd better go. I reckon we'd better go. Better future. Into the hills. Just the two of us. Touch your face with my dirty hands. Whatever the future, theirs to share together. So he got his prayer for himself and for her. His prayer was to give whatever you want. Like his first prayer was, give me the girl and then make her happy. And then God said, yes, I will give you your Eve. Yeah. So watching Hell's Hinges, what's striking is how early this film how early a film this is that contains the themes that would define the Western genre for the next 100 years. At its core, the Western is not really about cowboys or gunfights. It's not about tumbleweeds and a horse and a six-shooter. It's about the creation of civilization in a savage, untamed, violent landscape. The town of Hell's Hinges represents a frontier community where greed, vice, and corruption have taken root. The preacher represents the arrival of moral order. And Blaze Tracy stands between those two worlds, mediating them. A man shaped by violence himself, good with a gun, and we'll see some other attributes of him as we go on if you take the course, who ultimately becomes the instrument of judgment and good judgment. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I do plan to do more of these. Let me know if you like this and you want to see more. Also, make sure to head over to troubadour.studio so you can take the course or just watch many of my free courses. I have some very affordable, if I've already recorded the course, you can see some of them for a small price and, help support the channel. So see you next time.